In this video, I'm going to teach you how you can build your own Microsoft Outlook email assistant. Let's dive in. This is what our final automation looks like. So we're going to be walking through how we can build a very simple, very basic email assistant that can help us send emails, reply emails, and also get the emails that we have in our inboxes. So we start over here with a Telegram trigger, which is basically where we're able to send messages to our assistant where it can then perform the actions. After that, we have two types of files we can get. We can get an audio file or we can get a text file. And if we get an audio file, then we want to be able to get that file and transcribe it into text. And for the text, we just want to capture that as text. And everything gets fed into our AI agent as text. And depending on the prompt we've given it, depending on the instructions, it's then able to carry out the actions using the tools over here. And once everything is done and good to go, it gives us a reply here using the last Telegram message, telling us exactly what happened and exactly what it did. So to build this, we have to come to a new workflow and we just want to click on this plus sign over here. This brings out this menu. And the first step is a Telegram trigger. So we're going to search for Telegram and we want this to be on message, which basically means when we get a message from Telegram, we want to trigger this automation. We want this automation to start. And what we're going to do is we're going to come in here and we want to connect our credentials. And right below this video, I'm going to leave a link where you can find another video that walks you step by step exactly how to do this. So once you've connected your credentials, we'll move on to the next step, which is coming here. We want to add the plus sign and we want to add a switch. So what we want to do with this switch is we want when we have an audio file, which is when someone sends a voice message, it goes to one branch. And when we have a text file, which is when we type physical text messages, it goes to the other branch so we can handle them individually. So for the mode, we want it to be rules. And for the routing rules, I'm just going to add a second rule over here. For the first one, we want this to be toggled as expression. And we're going to put two curly braces. And we just want this to be JSON.message.voice.file_ID. And we want this to be a string. And we want this to be exist. So we're basically saying if this type of input exists. And for the second one, we want to toggle it as expression, and we want to put the curly braces and put this as JSON.message.text. So it gets that text input that we type into the Telegram. And we also want this to be exist. So as long as this data type exists. And I'm just going to rename the outputs here. So I'll toggle these green so we can just further track exactly what we're doing and make it more clean. So this would be audio file, and this would be text. Coming to our next step, we want to track exactly how we can handle these two different inputs. So let's start with the audio file. So first thing I want to do is I want to get the actual audio file that was passed when the instruction was being given. So we want to click on the plus sign. We want to search for Telegram, and we just want to select getter file. Coming here, we want to connect our credentials. So our credentials will just connect that. And for the resource, we want to leave it as file. The operation, we want to leave it as get. And for the file ID, we're going to toggle this as expression. We're going to put two curly braces. And I want to put JSON.message.voice.file_ID because that gets that exact audio message. And we just want this download to be toggled green. And next steps, we want to transcribe that audio recording into text. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to search for OpenAI. And here I just want to look for transcribe a recording. And here we just want to connect our OpenAI credentials. We want the resource to be audio. We want the operation to be transcribe a recording. And for the input data field name, we just want to leave that as data. Clicking out, we're going to come here to our text branch to configure that as well. So here I'm just going to click on this and I'm going to search for the edit field. Clicking on that. We want to click on add field, and here we want the name of the field to be text. And for the value, we're just going to toggle this as expression. And we want that to be curly braces double. We want it to be JSON.message.text. And we just want to click out of that. Now let's add our AI agent. So clicking on the plus sign here, we want to tap on AI, and we just want to go for AI agents. So it's going to look like this. And we also want to connect the output from here directly to there. So we get those two inputs fed into the AI agent. For the chat model, we're going to use OpenAI, and we're just going to select GPT-4. And make sure you also connect your credentials at that point. And for the AI agent, let's just configure it. So we want the source for prompt to be defined below. And here we have the prompt user message. We want to toggle this as expression. We want to add to curly braces, JSON.text. And for the options, we want to add a system message, which gives our AI agent exact instructions on how it should act and how it should perform the actions. So we're going to do the system message, and we're going to toggle that as expression as well. And I'm just going to paste my prompt in here. So this is my prompt. So we have, you're an email assistant. Today is now. So this is called the now convention, which tells you the exact time it is right now based on my time zone. And we have, your role is to help the user manage your inbox by sending, replying to, and retrieving emails. We have all the tools it has access to, as well as some guidelines to further help how it responds and acts on our instructions. Clicking out of this, we want to now add our memory. Now, this is very important because when we're sending messages to our agent, we want it to be able to remember what past messages we've sent it for context when it wants to reply for the next message. So here we're going to add the memory, and we're going to choose simple memory. Here we want to change this to define below. And for our context window length, we want to leave it as 5. Usually 5 to 6 is a sweet spot, unless you just end up sending too many tokens. And for our key, we want to toggle this as expression. So we want to put this, which is telegram trigger.item.json.message.chat.id. Now to the tool section, we have 4 tools that we want to add here. So the first tool, I'm just going to search for Outlook. We are going to use to send emails. So I'm just going to rename this as send emails so we don't get confused. And here you want to connect your Microsoft credentials. And I'm going to link a video right below this that shows you exactly how to set up your Microsoft credentials. And for your tool description, we can leave this as set automatically. For the resource, we want this to be message. Operation, we want it to be send. And for tool, we're just going to click on expression. And what we want to do, we want to get this information from the AI once it's being run. So when this workflow is being executed, the AI is able to then give whatever input we need for that based on the instructions given to it by the user. So I'm going to do 2 curly braces. I'm going to do a $sign, and then from AI, and then we're just going to put the field we need. In my case, it's going to be email address because we want to send to an email address. Awesome. So we're going to do the same thing for the subject and message. We want the AI to make that decision. So here I'm going to click on expression. I'm going to paste this in, and I'm going to change this to subject. Same thing for the message. I'm going to paste that in. We want to change that to message. Lovely. So we're done with this tool. For our next tool, we're going to do the exact same thing. So I'm just going to duplicate this. But if you want, you can go through the whole process. You click on the plus sign, you search for Outlook, and you keep going on with those steps. I'm just going to connect this like this. And this one, I wanted to help me reply to my emails. So I'm going to click on reply emails. So just like last time, we're going to connect our credentials. For tool description, we want it to be set automatically. For the resource, we want it to be message. And for the operation, we want it to be reply. Awesome. So here we have message. So basically it's asking for what message are we trying to reply to. And for this, we want the AI agent to also make that decision. So here I'm going to go by ID. And for this, we're going to toggle it to expression. I'm going to do 2 curly braces. We want to do $sign from AI. And here we're going to put 2 things. So if you can see over here, when I hover, you can see some information about how the from AI works. So the first field we can put is the key, which is basically the name of what we're trying to get. The second one we can put is a description, which is a direct description to help the AI figure out exactly what it needs to put there. So we're going to put here ID, and then we're going to put a comma, and we're going to put another quote, and we want here to put the description, and we're just going to paste that in here, which basically says the ID of the email to be responded to. So that's what we want. And for the messages, just like last time, I'm going to toggle expression. We want to use the from AI as well. So we'll do $ from AI. And here we just want to put message. So this is set up now. Let's now go to set up our two last tools. So we have reply email set up. We're going to click on the plus sign. We're going to go to Outlook as well. I'm going to click on that. I want this to get all emails. So I want this to be able to get all the emails in my inbox, because what that does in the case that the AI doesn't have an ID for an email, it's able to retrieve all the emails and intuitively get the ID as well. So first thing we want to do, we want to connect our credentials. Then for the tool description, we want it to be set automatically. For resource, we want it to be message. For operation, we want it to be get many. And here we just want to toggle return all. If you don't want to return all your emails, you can put a limit. But for me, I'm just going to toggle this. And for the output, we want it to be simplified, because here we have 3 different types of output. So we have simplified, so it's going to give us a simplified version. We have raw, that really gives us every single detail, really vast. And then for select included fields, that just gives us the fields that we want to select. But for this case, I just want to give my AI agents access to the information. So we're going to just toggle that and leave it as simplified. Next, for our last one, we're going to click on a new tool. But in this case, I'm just going to duplicate this and I'm just going to connect it to our agent. And here, what I want this one to do is I want it to get the information for just one email. So get one email. And here I'm going to connect my credentials, tool description automatically, resource message. And here we want our operation to be get. So just get a single message. Here we want it to be by ID. And just like last time, we're going to make this expression. We're going to do 2 curly braces. We're going to do $ from AI. So we want this to be filled by the AI. And I'm just going to do the first one, the key, which is the ID. And then I'm going to do the description. I'm just going to paste this in. So that says the ID of the email being described. So that's what we want to retrieve. And here we also want the output to be raw in this case, because now we want all that information. And instead of getting all the information from every single email in our inbox, we just want all the information for the one email, which is effective for us. I'm just going to click out. So now we want our AI agent to be able to send a message back to Telegram that gives us our response. I'm just going to click on this. I'm going to search for Telegram. And we want this to be send message. So we're just going to look for that. So send a text message. We want to connect our credentials. And for the resource, message, operation, send message. And here we want to put the chat ID as well as the text. So here we want to talk with this as expression. And we just want to paste this in, which is telegram trigger.item.json.message.chat.id. We want to get the output from the AI agent. So here for the text, we want to do expression, double curly braces, JSON.output. So this is our final workflow. Let's now test this out to see exactly how it works. So now let's ask our Outlook AI assistant to send an email to a specific person. So here are messages. Please, can you send an email to this email asking for details of the event they scheduled for the 14th, as well as if I can bring a +1. I'm just going to send that over. And here we can see our results. So now let's check to see if the email was actually sent. So as we can see, the email was sent successfully. So now let's test if it can do replies. So now I'm going to send a reply back to us. Let's see if the AI agent can then give a reply. So now for the reply, I'm going to say, please, could you reply to the email from this email, given the name of the +1 as Nina Ukoha. So I'm just going to send that. And as we can see, it has done that successfully. So let's verify to know if it replied properly. And as we can see, it responded. Thank you for accommodating my request to bring a +1. The person I will be bringing along is Nina Ukoha. So as we can see, it handles this very well. So coming back to the workflow, just for some final notes. Here, if you want to take off this that says this message was sent automatically with n8n, we can come back to our workflow. And here in this Telegram node, we just want to come to add field. We want this thing that says append n8n attribution, and we just want to toggle that off. And that is it, how to build your own Outlook AI assistant. Make sure to customize this as much as possible to your needs and make it fully yours.